This is ABC7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
So many of these people recycle through the EMS to the hospital emergency room, unfortunately in and out of jail, and those amount to millions and millions of dollars of cost to the taxpayers.
Can Sarasota's Comprehensive Treatment Court help break the cycle of incarceration? Tonight, we'll look into how the program, spearheaded by a local judge, could offer resources to low-level offenders who are chronically homeless or suffering from mental health issues. Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Cohen, and welcome to ABC7 at 7. We'll have much more on the jail diversion program coming up. But first, our top 7 stories at 7. Law enforcement across the country is on high alert tonight. In a matter of hours, 4 officers came under fire in 3 states last night, leaving 1 dead, and one of those attacks was here in Florida. 49-year-old John Webster Hay is charged with attempted murder. Authorities in Sanibel say he shot an officer, Jarek Sicione, last night. Officer Sicione was filling out paperwork during a traffic stop when he drove by and allegedly shot him, wounding the officer in the shoulder.
Obviously, we're very concerned that this type of activity occurred on Sanibel. Very unusual. Just everyone needs to know that the suspect has been apprehended.
The shooting in Sanibel comes hours after 3 other police shootings. 2 officers were wounded in St. Louis. An officer in San Antonio was killed. The search continues for the suspect tonight. Officers around the country, as well as here on the Suncoast, are being told to exercise extra caution while out on patrol. Sarasota's police chief says she is more concerned than ever and tells us the safety of her officers begins with their training.
Our training division is actually putting on training scenarios for officers that could be involved in ambush type of situation, things for them to anticipate, think about, and react to.
Chief DePino says being an officer today isn't the most popular job, but she isn't deterring candidates from applying. Meanwhile, law enforcement is seeing an increase in the number of overdoses caused by synthetic forms of fentanyl. Fentanyl is a deadly opiate, often mixed with heroin, but now medical examiners are seeing variations of the drug showing up in overdose victims. The opioids have been found in 8 fatal overdoses in Sarasota County and 38 fatal overdoses in Manatee. The most lethal and common form of the drug is estimated to be 10,000 times more potent than morphine.
The experience, which is very limited at this point, but the experience of our first responders is that when they do use Narcan, the amount that they're used to seeing a response with in, say, more typical overdose patients with heroin or even fentanyl is just not, it's not being effective with the carfentanil patients.
Manatee's medical examiner also reports seeing an increase in cocaine being used with opioids. Now an update on the open records lawsuit against Sarasota City Commissioner Susan Chapman. You thought that was over and done with? Not. Citizens for Sunshine is appealing a judge's ruling in favor of Chapman. In July, a court found Chapman didn't violate Florida's Sunshine Law. The case enters around the 2013 meeting between Chapman and another commissioner on the issue of homelessness. A hearing on whether or not Citizens for Sunshine should be paying part of the court fees is scheduled a week from today. Despite 2 hurricanes making landfall and the outbreak of the Zika virus, Florida is seeing record tourism numbers this year. According to new numbers, 85 million people visited the state in the first 9 months alone, the highest total for the time period ever. Here in Sarasota County, tourism over the past year generated $2.8 billion in revenue and more than 24,000 jobs, according to a Florida market research firm. Millions of Floridians are hitting the road this week. AAA estimates more than 2.5 million residents will be traveling for the Thanksgiving holiday, a 5-point increase from last year. The 2 busiest travel days will be the Wednesday before Thanksgiving and the Sunday afterward, and it's a good idea to keep that in mind.
Make sure you pack your patience when you get ready to go. Give yourself more time than you would need any other time of the year, because the airports are going to be busy, the roadways are going to be busy.
2 of the top 10 most popular destinations for Thanksgiving travel this year are in Florida. Orlando at number 4 and Fort Lauderdale at number 8. The top destination, Las Vegas. For all of you who love those roundabouts, rejoice! The Federal Highway Administration is signing off on a plan to ease traffic congestion in Manatee County with 5 new roundabouts. The roundabouts will be at the intersections along 49th, 51st Street, and 57th Avenue East, as well as Whitfield Road and Talavas Road. Construction is expected to begin by 2022. The work also includes installing new street lighting, bike lanes, sidewalks, and bus stops. And Bob, I know you love those roundabouts.
I got to tell you, I was in Ireland many years ago, and they have roundabouts everywhere, and it was a little bit confusing, and narrow roads. At least our roads are a little wider in nature here, but it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Right now, we have clear skies, 60 degrees. The temperature's already starting to fall after a high today in the low 70s. The dew point very low. The humidity extremely low, 36%. A light wind out of the north at 3, and the pressure continues to rise slightly at 11 inches. Now, we are looking at clear skies through 11 o'clock. Temperatures will drop down in the low 50s, so it will be a little chilly later this evening, obviously. And we're expecting low temperatures tonight, well below average, about 10 degrees below where it normally is for this time of year. And then we'll quickly warm up, though, tomorrow. Well, we have our 15th named storm of the season. Its name is Otto, and it's a tropical storm. It has developed just to the east of Nicaragua and Costa Rica. It looks like it's getting better organized tonight with some deep convection developing on the color-enhanced satellite imagery. It's expected to head off toward the west. We'll talk more about the path and direction of that coming up a little bit. That north wind to northwest wind continues up and down the sun coast right now, anywhere from 5 to 10 miles an hour. And so it looks as though we will see another cool night ahead. We'll have much more in our forecast, let you know about Thanksgiving, and an update on the tropics coming up a little bit later, Alan. It looks as though we will see a nice Thanksgiving. More on that in a few minutes.
Wonderful. Thanks a lot, Bob. And still to come, Sarasota's Comprehensive Treatment Court will show you how a judge is getting support for a program aimed at stopping the vicious cycle from the street to jail and back again. The details when we return.
We're losing exotic animals on a daily basis, and the ones that we have in captivity are really the ambassadors for their wild counterparts. I'm Clayton Rozier from the Big Cat Habitat and Gulf Coast Sanctuary, housing over 150 exotic animals that needed a great home. And if you love animals, please help them. Do it locally. Support your local no-kill shelters, your local wild animal sanctuaries. Make a difference where you can.
Download ABC7's free all-new news app at your app store today.
This is a special health alert for seniors suffering with joint pain. If you have Medicare insurance, you may qualify for high-quality support braces at little or no cost.
I'm thrilled with my knee braces.
Now, there is a simple and proven solution for seniors to get out of pain with state-of-the-art support braces.
I barely feel any pain at all.
Braces for your knees and back, as well as your shoulders and ankles, too.
I'm so happy with the quality of these braces.
Call now, and you could qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost.
I can play ball again, and it doesn't hurt.
And because of my Medicare coverage, it costs me next to nothing.
So call now.
And because I have this red, white, and blue Medicare card, my braces have cost me just about nothing.
It's true. You may get a knee, back, shoulder, and ankle brace at little or no cost.
They qualified me for 2 knee braces and a back brace.
If you have knee or back pain, give them a call. They can help.
1-800-476-8967. 1-800-476-8967.
Batteries Plus bulbs keep stacks of batteries for cars, cell phones, watches, plus light bulbs for lamps, can lights, and appliances right on hand. Did I mention we also repair smartphones? Batteries Plus bulbs. Trust the plus. Visit Batteries Plus bulbs today.
We want to lock up criminals, especially violent offenders, but for years, our jails and prisons have been warehousing the homeless and mentally ill. Is there a better way? A Sarasota judge thinks so, and now her idea is about to come to reality. ABC7's Dwayne Lindo joins us with more. Dwayne.
Well, Alan, the diligence of a Sarasota County judge and monetary help from a state grant develop a comprehensive treatment court program to help those who are mentally ill out of jail. Sarasota City and the county also approving a funding request of $400,000 apiece for the program. They say will start to get the homeless off the street.
It's been 2 years since Sarasota County Judge Erica Quartermain created a program to help nonviolent offenders with mental health issues.
I believe that we will see a reduced number of homeless people pretty quickly after implementation.
The goal, having those who qualify avoid jail and provide them with treatment. Quartermain says she sees a significant amount of people in Sarasota who will benefit from these services.
So the correlation is almost perfect between the homeless and the severely mentally ill and those ending up in jail.
And now the program that's been in the works since 2014 is now a reality. Quartermain's program awarded a state grant of $1.2 million. In addition, local contributions from the city, county, and private organizations also added another $1.2 million, a total of $2.4 million for 3 years starting on January 1st.
It will help merge mental health care and substance abuse treatment with interim housing and then hopefully permanent housing to help people get stabilized and healthier and off the streets.
And Sarasota City Manager Tom Barwin believes the program will be successful, given additional funding after 3 years and access to long-term housing.
And for any of the treatment to work, for them to get healthy, ultimately they have to be treated and they have to buy into the treatment. And then for any of it to work, there has to be a roof over somebody's head.
So the idea is to take these folks whose lives have been spiraling and get them settled by being able to offer them treatment in lieu of sitting in jail.
Melissa Larkin Skinner of the Centerstone of Florida, a behavioral health hospital, was selected to oversee the services. The plan is to take eligible offenders to case managers who will connect them with the proper treatment, housing, and programs.
But we've seen over and over, even here at Centerstone, several programs, every single one of them we've ever initiated where we take the treatment to wherever the person is, they are absolutely successful.
The bottom line for Quartermain is to raise awareness of homelessness and addressing the needs of the mentally ill. She doesn't expect results to happen right away, but feels optimistic about the program going forward.
Community, I think a lot of the philanthropic organizations are working smarter, working together, and really going after the underlying causes as opposed to treating the symptoms. So I think we've already made a lot of progress.
And as mentioned earlier, the program is set to start on January 1st of next year.
Dwayne, thank you. And when we return, we'll speak with some of the people who will be working directly with the treatment court on both the legal and treatment side. Stay with us.
This is a special health alert for seniors suffering with joint pain. If you have Medicare insurance, you may qualify for high-quality support braces at little or no cost.
I'm thrilled with my knee braces.
Now, there is a simple and proven solution for seniors to get out of pain with state-of-the-art support braces.
I barely feel any pain at all.
Braces for your knees and back, as well as your shoulders and ankles, too.
I'm so happy with the quality of these braces.
Call now, and you could qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost.
I can play ball again, and it doesn't hurt.
And because of my Medicare coverage, it costs me next to nothing.
So call now.
And because I have this red, white, and blue Medicare card, my braces have cost me just about nothing.
It's true. You may get a knee, back, shoulder, and ankle brace at little or no cost.
They qualified me for 2 knee braces and a back brace.
If you have knee or back pain, give them a call. They can help.
1-800-476-8967. 1-800-476-8967.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
An important message for Americans eligible for Medicare. Are you receiving all the benefits available to you? Do you know there is money available to lower your Medicare prescription costs? Now's the time to find the coverage that's right for you at the right price. The way to do that is to explore your options. You can spend hours doing that yourself, or you can call Health Markets and let us do the legwork for you with no cost or obligation. We'll search a variety of plans from nationally recognized companies to find the coverage that's the best fit for you at a price that fits your budget, and we'll do it at no charge to you. Plus, you may be able to save money on prescriptions. We'll tell you if you qualify. Why pay a penny more than you have to for an insurance policy? Let us find you the right plan at the right price and see if you qualify to lower your prescription costs. Put our free service to work for you at no charge.
Call the number on the screen now to make sure you're getting all the benefits you deserve. Don't wait. Call now.
Welcome back. After nearly 3 years of work, Sarasota's Comprehensive Treatment Court is set to launch in January. So how will it work? The plan is for the program to treat up to 100 nonviolent offenders each year, with about 25 people receiving treatment at one time. Centerstone will be overseeing the treatment, ensuring participants have access to medication and outpatient care. The Department of Children and Families gave a 3-year grant for the program of $1.2 million. Local contributors bring the total funding to about double that amount. And joining us for more on the Comprehensive Treatment Court is Terry Drake of Sarasota's Public Defender's Office, Craig Schaefer, Chief Assistant State's Attorney for the 12th Judicial Circuit, and Melissa Larkin Skinner, Chief Clinical Officer for Centerstone. Thank you all for coming tonight.
Thank you.
Where did this idea come from?
I think the idea really came from Judge Quartermain. She knows through her experience in the courts here in Sarasota that there are a lot of people that she sees over and over that are known to have serious mental health issues, and they just keep cycling through the courts, the jails, out on the street, the courts, the jails, out on the street.
But we've known this for years. I mean, I used to have the court beat back a long time ago, and you know, I saw the people that you folks see, you know, every single day, and we knew that it was responsible for a lot of the overcrowding that we see in the local jail. So how come it's taking a judge in Sarasota to try something that really has not been going on in much of the state?
I think also Judge Quartermain, obviously this was her brainchild, but also Sheriff Knight from the Sheriff's Office, as well as Major Bell. I know that a few years ago he was put in as the warden of the jail, so to speak, and I think that he worked closely with Judge Quartermain to try to push this through as well, and then contacted our office as well as the Public Defender's Office.
I'm sorry, and I also believe that Judge Quartermain, being a newer judge, she has more experience, recent experience, since she was a prosecutor, and for a long time she was a misdemeanor prosecutor. She has more recent experience in seeing how big of an impact something like this could have for caseloads in the community at large. So I think that was a large determining factor.
Is it possible to say what percentage of people who are in our local jail are suffering from substantial mental health issues and drug addiction issues, as opposed to your, offenders, criminal offenders who may not be?
My personal caseload, I would say probably 60% of them have a mental health issue. Of those 60, probably 40 of them have a co-occurring disorder, which means that they have a mental health issue and they have a substance abuse issue. And then there's probably a good chunk of them that just have substance abuse issues.
And Craig, you talked about how this kind of stems from Judge Quartermain's experience as a prosecutor. Has there been an evolution of approach amongst prosecutors in terms of how to handle cases like this?
I think that Ed Brodsky, who's the state attorney who was elected in 2013, I think he is much more progressive and the views. And it's not just him. I think around the state, I think a lot of the state attorneys are more progressive in diversion programs generally. So as for, this is just one more diversion program of a specialized class of defendants that we see revolving over and over through the court system that we recognize, along with the healthcare professionals in the public defender's office and the sheriff's office, that we need to do something different. What was working wasn't working. So, we've done something similar with prostitution type cases. We've double drug court, and this is just one other aspect of what we've done and what Ed Brodsky's done in our office. Obviously, I've heard other folks and elected officers say, that our biggest mental health facility is the Sarasota County Jail.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. Right now, we have more mental health patients in the Sarasota County Jail than anywhere else, and it's unfortunate.
And what is Centerstone doing that is almost novel in terms of working with these individuals in a setting that has really not been done too much before around here?
So what's novel is the close coordination with the courts, the state attorney's office, public defender's office, Judge Quartermain, as well as the sheriff and Major Bell, and then taking the treatment to wherever the future clients are located. So the staff will actually be out on the streets. They'll go to the jail, they'll go out on the streets, wherever people are, so that we can provide the services that they need, because it's very difficult for people who are struggling with a mental health issue or are homeless, for them to be able to get to an appointment, to be seen by a psychiatrist or a therapist, or to get their medication. So the staff will do this for them.
All right, we are just starting on this subject with our roundtable, but when we return, we'll bring you a look at our full weather forecast, so stay with us.
On horrendously cold nights, on days when the rain has been relentless, or when the sun is beating down, there is an animal trapped with no protection, fighting to stay alive. Time is running out for them, but you can help save them by joining the ASPCA today. With your donation of just $18 a month, you'll help rescue abused and neglected animals, provide them with food, shelter, and medical care. When you go online or call in the next 10 minutes, we'll send you this free membership kit and our limited edition 150th anniversary t-shirt. It's just 60 cents a day to pull animals out of a terrible life. Don't let them suffer another day. Please help now.
Alex Karras Lincoln's holiday sales event is here. Drive a brand new 2017 Lincoln MKC Sports Utility for $269 per month, or a 2017 MKZ for $299 per month. We are proud to introduce the newest addition to the Lincoln lineup, the all-new 2017 Lincoln Continental. We have a great selection and ready for immediate delivery. Alex Karras Lincoln, affordable luxury, winner of the prestigious 2015 President's Award, serving Florida's Sun Coast since 1978. We're located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41.
Is your mop a dirty, disgusting mess? You need the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System, the only mop and bucket that spins the dirt away. A system that cleans practically anything and everything with super absorbent microfiber. Dip it in the washer side and the mess releases into the bucket. Then place it in the dryer side and push on a pedal. You get a clean mop pad that's practically dry and ready for more. And your hands will never again touch a dirty, disgusting mop. The heads are washable and reusable. Get the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System for just 2 payments of $19.99. You'll also get a Sticky Buddy, the reusable sticky roller that picks up pet hair and lint and washes clean in seconds. You can take advantage of our 2-for-1 Pick It Up special and get a second spin mop set. Just pay additional shipping and fee. And we'll upgrade you to free priority handling. So don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-394-1524 to get your Hurricane Spin Mop double offer. So hurry and call 1-800-394-1524. Call now.
We'll have more with our roundtable coming up, but right now let's get a check on our forecast with ABC7 Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob.
Well, thanks, Alan. A beautiful day today. It was dry, too. Extremely dry conditions causing a high fire danger here along the Sun Coast. And this is the Anna Maria webcam looking off in the distance. There are no clouds to be found. I think 3 days in a row, I've not seen any clouds around, and that's a rarity. You get at least some cumulus clouds developing in the afternoon. We haven't had any of that for the past 3 days. This particular forecast model is indicating we might have 1 or 2 out there by around 9 o'clock, but I doubt it. 53-degree temperature expected to be right at 11 o'clock, so it will be rather chilly through the evening. Once again, low temperatures will be into the 40s to start things off tomorrow morning. Well, that dry air, you can see it on the water vapor imagery. This is from the satellite imagery taken about 23,000 miles up in space, and we're looking at the heights of about 20 to 30,000 feet. And it's just showing this extreme dry air continues to move in from the northwest. Now, there's another frontal boundary which will approach mainly from the west to the east, so it's not a big, strong cold front. It will eventually cool us down a couple of degrees, but that doesn't happen until after Thanksgiving. Right now, it's 60. The dew point very low, 33, and the pressure 3011, and that continues to rise at this hour. The humidity at 38%. Very low. The high today was 71, well below the average of 78. This morning's low was in the 40s, 46. Should be pretty close to that number again tomorrow. Our high temperature tomorrow, though, will be about 5 degrees warmer than it was today. Temperatures for overnight lows, generally near the coast, mid to upper 40s there, low 40s well inland under fair skies, and then we'll start off with lots of sunshine around. Temperatures already down in the 50s in Parrish and Waterleaf and Rosedale and the Meadows at 59 degrees there. 62 at Longboat and 62 degrees now. Also at Whitney Beach, 61 at Siesta Key, Osprey at 61, and temperature of 60 in Port Charlotte. Northport, you're at 59. Lows tomorrow in Northport right around 41 degrees, so a very cold start for Florida standards anyway. 46 in Port Charlotte, 50 in Rotunda, and 46 degrees in Venice right now, and that's the low temperature, I should say, and 46 for Sarasota, 50 in Bradenton, 51 in Anna Maria. So if you're on the water, temperatures will be a little bit warmer there due to the fact the water temperature is now still at 70 degrees. Well, at least we're not dealing with snow, and they're dealing with quite a bit of it now throughout New York and into Vermont and even in New Hampshire and Maine. This all associated with a very vigorous low-pressure area that continues to move to the northeast. Clear skies and cold conditions across much of the Ohio Valley. Well, here it is, the 15th named storm of the season. Its name is Otto, and it is showing signs of organization right now, and conditions are favorable for this to turn into a hurricane before long. Top winds now at 50 miles an hour. It isn't moving right now. The pressure at 1,000 millibars, but a high-pressure ridge to the north of it will eventually cause it to move off to the west-northwest, and winds could be as high as 80 miles an hour by Thursday before it makes landfall. More importantly, it's going to be a very heavy rainmaker throughout this region, causing all sorts of problems with mudslides and flooding conditions throughout Central America. Otto, let's hope it's the last storm out there. As far as our forecast goes, lots of sunshine anticipated. For boaters, winds will be rather light out there. Seas running right around 2 feet with a light chop on the bays and inland waters. Water temperature has cooled now to 70 degrees, and the beach is expected to see a high right around 75. Tides upcoming. High tide in just a few minutes, and the low tide will be at 1:50 in the morning. The forecast tonight in the 40s again, mid-40s for the most part. Tomorrow, chilly start, but nice finish. Highs in the mid-70s. The extended forecast, as promised, Thanksgiving looks to be pretty nice with a high of 80 degrees. Alan will be right back after this.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator. There was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs. Stop the crimes.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
If you're depressed, drinking, and using drugs, you may need help. And the Affordable Care Act guarantees coverage of substance abuse. Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment.
I had problems just getting to sleep, drinking and using pills every night.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Are you losing hope? You can recover and get back on track. Call now for hope and help with proven, gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I have something to hold on to for strength. I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment with someone who cares.
Call 1-800-764-8708. That's 1-800-764-8708.
You only have one life. Are you gambling with it? 1 in 3 adults have high blood pressure. Not knowing your numbers could cause you to lose big time. Luckily, you can turn the odds in your favor by getting your blood pressure checked today. Don't leave your health to chance. Learn more at heart.org/HPV.
Christmas Traditions by LuxArt Silks, where more is merrier. Make your holidays sparkle with style. Browse our amazing showroom, cute collectible cottages, and beautiful Christmas displays. Find the inspiration, selection, and quality you need to deck the halls merry and bright. Christmas Traditions also features the area's largest selection of quality pre-lit Christmas trees, every size, shape, and color, and plenty of decorations to make your home shine for the holidays. Christmas Traditions by LuxArt Silks, where more is merrier. Visit us on New 301, just a quarter-mile north of University Parkway.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, we are discussing plans for Sarasota's comprehensive treatment court. Our guests tonight are Terry Drake with Sarasota's Public Defender's Office, Craig Schaefer, Chief Assistant State's Attorney for the 12th Judicial Circuit, and Melissa Larkin Skinner, Chief Clinical Officer for Centerstone. So let's explain how this works. There is an arrest, maybe an individual for trespassing or a minor drug offense. The files wind up at the State's Attorney's Office and the Public Defender's Office. What happens next?
Well, hopefully, before there got to be a file, the idea is that a law enforcement officer would make contact with the misdemeanant on the street. They would bring them into the jail. The person at the jail in the booking department would say, basically, you have a misdemeanor crime, you meet our criteria, you can either be further booked into the jail, or you can come over and you can speak with this case manager. We can try to hook you up with some services, and you won't have to be in jail tonight.
But that is dependent upon the individual being able to make that kind of decision.
Correct. And if they're not able to make a decision at that particular time, either because due to their mental illness, they're in some state of psychosis, or if they come in and they're under the influence or something and they're not able to make that decision, then either myself or somebody from my office would go back within 24 hours and revisit it and say, okay, now that you're feeling a little bit better, these are your choices. Which option would you like to pursue at this time?
At that point, they are in the jail.
If they were not able to make that decision when they first came in.
Is the prosecutor's office involved in that case at that point at all?
Our only involvement would be if they went to first appearances, which they're entitled to go if they stayed in jail. Placement's going to be an issue, obviously. Getting them, even if they wanted help, they'd have to be placed in an appropriate facility, and that's where Centerstone comes in. Our involvement is really working on the list of cases that we're comfortable allowing these folks to be released into the community.
And let's be clear about what kind of cases are those.
It's trespass and vagrancy in the park, or disorderly conducts, or disorderly conducts or disorderly intoxications. When we get into batteries and crimes of violence, we have victims that we have to deal with and take their wishes into account as well, and there's a public safety factor as well. So it's a lot of the low-hanging fruit types of crimes where these people just do it, they get out of jail, and historically, they would get a day in jail or a weekend in jail, and then you'd see them back again.
But what happens if it's an individual who's arrested for a misdemeanor, as you described, but they have a history of felony arrests?
We would look at the felony arrests, we would look at the type of crime they're being charged with, and we'd have to decide balancing public safety and their criminal history. If there's violence in their history, that would be obviously a significant red flag for us allowing them in the program. I think it would also be a significant red flag for allowing them in any kind of treatment facilities or residential facilities as well.
Now, keep in mind that there are a lot of people watching this tonight who are saying, I don't want any of these people on the street.
Nobody wants them on the street. What people want is for them to be safe and for them to have the services that they need. Right now, we don't have those services available. So this is a first step and a collaborative effort for all of us to work together. Because right now, people are treating social problems as a criminal problem. If your child self-medicates, you call a cop. If the person has mental illness and they're screaming on the corner, you call a cop. So the criminal justice system is turned into a social service agency. So this is the first step to get things back in the right direction, whereas the people who are out on the street who need these services can actually get them and get them properly, and the people who really deserve to be in the jail will end up in the jail, and this is the first step.
So let's say an individual meets the specifications for the program and Centerstone gets involved. How do you, it's not just treatment, but how do you arrange for available bed space at Centerstone or elsewhere? How exactly does that work?
So we have partnerships lined up with Sarasota Salvation Army, with First Step of Sarasota, and also with Community Assisted and Supported Living. And the process will be that we'll get them immediate shelter with the Salvation Army while we're working with them, trying to explain the program a little more, get them to cooperate with going to see our psychiatrist or having our psychiatrist come to see them. We'll do some case management, find out as much history as we can. And then the idea will be, as they get a little bit better and understand the program more, that they will move into supported housing and then eventually into permanent housing.
We have talked often on this broadcast about the homelessness issue in Sarasota and the availability of beds. As we speak right now, are there enough places, enough beds out there to meet the individuals who need it and come through this program? So
the partnerships, we've specifically set aside beds for the people that will be in this program. So the answer is yes, because the community foundations have come together, the city, the county, as well as the state grant, and then of course all of the legal system players have come together to make sure that this happens.
Let's talk a little bit about money, because you have this initial funding from a variety of different sources. Is that continued funding dependent on what kind of results you get?
Yes, and all funding really is. So all of those entities have committed to 3 years, but we have to perform. So there's certain outcomes that we're going to have to meet. We're going to have to serve a certain number of people. We have to make sure that those people get benefits, that we have places for them to go, that we get them off the streets, that we keep them out of the jails. I mean, one of the things that we'll be looking at is rearrest, because the idea is we don't want them to be rearrested.
So if there is a rearrest, what happens?
They could conceivably get back into the program. Hopefully they're not going to be arrested on serious charges. She referenced the rearrest. That would be a significant benchmark, I think, for a lot of the stakeholders who have invested in this program. But I know that this is modeled off a program in Miami-Dade, and the recidivism rate is like 76% much lower after they instituted a program similar to this. So there's high optimism that this program will be successful in our community.
But we have, through knowing that there was that Miami-Dade model and having some of the statistics there, we know that sometimes it takes a person 2 or 3 times, especially if they have a severe mental illness, for things to click. So there is a certain amount of recidivism that's expected, but there are safeguards in the program to determine that nobody abuses that.
How long has that Miami program been going, and what kind of results has it had over time? And is this model being used elsewhere around the country? And if so, has it been successful?
I don't know how long the Miami, I think maybe 3 to 5, somewhere between 3 and 5 years maybe. I can't assuredly speak to that, but there are diversion models all over the country. I think that ours is somewhat unique, and it's different from Miami-Dade in that this program actually provides treatment. In Miami-Dade, they refer people for treatment with the providers down there. There are a lot more providers in Miami-Dade. It's a much larger area. And so, but for Sarasota County, the program will actually provide the treatment, which is what's different about it.
Most people don't understand what the difference is between a county jail and the state prison system. So I want to ask, are there any applications for this on a broader scale within the state prison system? But it's important to note that if you're in the state prison, you're convicted of a felony, and we're talking about a different animal?
That's correct. If you're convicted of a felony and you're going to prison, not everybody who commits a felony goes to prison, but if you're going to prison, you've committed a felony that's on a sentencing score sheet that's pretty aggravating, or your criminal history is pretty lengthy to go to prison. First offenders don't go to prison unless it's a serious type crime. So when it comes to funding, and we've heard all about the funding, this is like even though we have DCF funding half of it, but we have local commitments for the other half of our funding for the next 3 years. In the prison system, if we had a component in prison that dealt with this, it would have to be completely funded by the state.
Because there are people who wind up in state prison. Mental health issues are still huge there, are they not?
They are huge, and as a matter of fact, if you've ever seen any of the statistics or any of the photos of what happens to mentally ill people in the prison, it's devastating what happens to them.
All right, we have a little bit more time in our next break to talk about this. I want to talk about that fact coming up. But when we return, we'll have final thoughts with our guests, along with what some of you are saying about Friday night's topic about giving money out to the homeless. So stay with us.
You're going to need me. You're going to need us. All of us. You're going to need our help with your water, your air, your food. You're going to need our determination, our compassion. You're going to need the next generation of leaders to face the challenges the future will bring. And we promise we'll be there when you need us.
Hurricane season is here. Are you prepared? ABC7 has the information you need. Access our special Surviving a Hurricane now. Access our special on our ABC7 app and all our live streaming platforms.
Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, and Roku. ABC7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you weeknights at 5.
I'm calling in regards about my mother, and I'm here, and I just want to thank you because it saved my mother's life yesterday. And I'd like to know the names of the people that came in and saved her so I could call and thank them. And she's doing fine. It's a wonderful thing. Thank you.
When you fall and cannot get up, an accident can turn into a tragedy. But with Life Alert, one touch of a button can get you help fast. Life Alert saves a person from a catastrophe every 10 minutes.
Life Alert is a lifesaver. If it weren't for Life Alert, I wouldn't be sitting here today.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-652-3012. That's 1-800-652-3012. Call now 1-800-652-3012. For a free brochure, call 1-800-652-3012.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
Can the Comprehensive Treatment Court help break the cycle of incarceration and get low-level offenders the help they need to get off the street and into care? Our guests join us now with final thoughts. Here's the question. Where do you all hope that this goes, and if it is successful, if you see results? And, Craig, why don't we start with you?
Simply that the same folks who, it's a revolving door in the jail. If we could stop that with getting them the treatment they need that they have not been able to get, I think would be number one. Number two is I think that if people see the success that the community, not just the foundations, but other folks in the community that have the ability to help out providing services, helping provide whatever vocational services, whatever these folks need, I think would be a goal. Because the more people that realize that mental illness permeates our whole community, the more we could help, the better.
There's also an issue that, the jails have been overcrowded here and everywhere. It's been a vexing problem for many years, and there could be a cost-benefit success to this.
I believe that there could be. I think the more that people become aware that mental illness is not a crime, I think the more that they'll focus on the crimes that truly need to be dealt with. And hopefully, in the long run, if we narrow it down to those few set of people, we can put the resources where they really need to be and stop criminalizing people or putting mentally ill people in a situation where their condition becomes worse and it's more of a burden.
But Melissa, whether it's a drug addiction or mental health issues, recovery in some mental health issues, you don't necessarily recover from your underlying illness, but it is not a predictable result. So is this a trial and error type of situation, or what do you hope in terms of the results that come out of this program?
What I really, really hope happens is that we catch people early enough, like say their first arrest or their second arrest, to stop the cycle in its tracks before it even starts. Because right now what we're really talking about is people that have already been in and out of the jail, in and out 30, 40, 50 times. And so what I really hope is that this program continues well beyond the 3 years and that we can stop it for the younger folks when they first get involved.
Can that be done the first time, stopping that cycle?
Absolutely.
Okay. We have to leave the conversation right there. But before we go, we want to share with you what some of our viewers are saying about Friday's show. It is the time of year when many people are in the giving mood, but should you be giving cash to the homeless? Law enforcement and charities offering resources to the homeless say no. According to the homelessness expert Robert Marbut, 93% of all cash donations goes to drug or alcohol. And here is what some of you are saying. Donna Farina writes, I hand out backpacks with clothes, water, bottles of food. And when I get to know them, if they need a bike or shoes, I get them too. I have met amazing people who have fallen on difficult times and seek to improve their lives. I've never had an issue with anyone. Christian, I am a Christian, I will not judge. Melanie Dietrich writes, I have no problem giving cash, food, or whatever they like. It makes me feel good. If they choose to buy beer, food, anything that's their choice, I don't give with restrictions. And Joni Mass writes, what a judgmental lot. We are humans. I give them money if I'm moved to. Well, if you'd like to join the conversation about tonight's topic, just visit our Facebook page at facebook.com/news7. And FYI, want to watch past roundtable discussions? They're available on Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and Roku. We want to thank our guests for being here tonight. Terry Drake is an attorney with Sarasota's Public Defender's Office. Craig Schaefer is Chief Assistant State's Attorney for the 12th Judicial Circuit. And Melissa Larkin Skinner is the Chief Clinical Officer at Centerstone. When we return, we'll have a final look at your weather. Plus, rule by the wealthy. Well, not quite as wealthy as they used to be. We'll tell you why Florida's legislators in Tallahassee aren't worth as much as they used to be. The details in our primetime headlines.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
I owed the IRS $20,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
We saved our home and overcame the most powerful collection agency in the world.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 1-800-565-7740. That's 1-800-565-7740.
Whether a family member needs a little extra help around the house, assistance recovering from a hospital stay, or someone to check in on them throughout the week, Right at Home's in-home care is the answer. Your loved one deserves the right care, and now we need caregivers to help give the right care for the right reasons, the right way. At Right at Home, we're one of the only private home health agencies in this area with the opportunity to earn paid time off. If you're someone who loves helping people, take a look at our website and click on jobs to join our team today.
They took that stress and that tension when I was particularly feeling very bad after that nasty car accident, and it was such a relief to know that I didn't have to bear that burden alone, that I had help.
Our goal is to not just get a satisfactory settlement on their case. We want them up on their feet, happy again. They've gotten their life back.
We'll have a look at your primetime headlines coming up in just a moment, but right now let's get a final check on your weather from ABC7 Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob.
Thanks, Alan. A beautiful day it was, although cool to start things off. Temperatures warmed up. We had a lot of sunshine today. Van Way's a webcam looking out over Sarasota Bay. A nice afterglow after the sun set just shortly after 5:30 tonight, and beautiful conditions out there as far as boating goes. And it was beautiful today, too. This photo sent in from Doug Tate. Clear sky showing the big flag there. Looks like blowing pretty good, though. We had wind out of the north and northwest, anywhere from 5 to 10 miles an hour. Now it's a little bit less, as I said, across inland areas, 4 miles an hour in Mayaca City, and now it's 5 miles an hour in Northport. Out of the north and northwest, and with that northerly flow, we're going to continue to see some pretty chilly temperatures to start things off tomorrow morning. Right now it's 60. We have clear skies and the dew point extremely low, 33 degrees, and winds are light out of the north at 3 miles an hour, at least at the airport. The high today was 71, and the low this morning was 46. Both those numbers well below the average. The weather headlines read like this: chilly start on Tuesday. We will see warmer weather on Wednesday. We'll be back to near normal or slightly above it. And then a weak cold front arrives on Friday, cooling things down just a little bit for the weekend. Not much at all, not like this last front. 48 already in Jacksonville. It's 56 in Orlando, 71 now in Miami, and temperatures around town all in the 50s east of I-75, 56 degrees in Arcadia. Northport, you're at 57, although 59 now in Inglewood and 58 in Venice. So even west of I-75, temperatures in the upper 50s there. 60 degrees now in Sarasota. We're expecting temperatures tomorrow to be nice, upper 70s, so right around average. We'll see plenty of sunshine right through the day. No mention of any clouds at all, and it looks like no threat of any rainfall here anytime soon. Across the U.S., a large area of high pressure sprawling across much of the central U.S., extending down into the southeast. There's another storm system gathering here over the central Rockies tonight, and there's an associated cold front with it, which will get close to us on Friday, and then eventually some of that cooler air will filter in on Saturday, but it's just a little bit cool. Not the case here in upstate New York and near Buffalo, getting that lake effect snow. It's in full effect. This low pressure not moving much, so this cold Arctic air continuing to spill right over the relatively warmer lakes here, causing that lake effect to be quite significant right now. And they're getting quite a bit of snow as well into Vermont. Down south in the tropics, we have our 15th named storm of the season. This is Otto, and it is heading off, going to head off to the west, it looks like. Right now it's stationary, expected to gain some strength and then move off in a westerly direction. And no threat to Florida, but it will be a threat to Central America, specifically with heavy mudslides there and a problem with flash flooding. They're going to see a tremendous amount of rainfall move in over the next several days there. As far as our futurecast is concerned, high pressure continuing to dominate. We'll see a little cloudiness along the east coast, but not much here. We'll stay in the sunshine. There's a few clouds are possible tomorrow night. That front eventually falls apart just north of our area, but close enough to bring in some cooler temperatures. 30s over the Great Lakes, as well as in the northern Plains states. Now Denver at 51 and 66 degrees now in Dallas, 54 in Oklahoma City, and 51 degrees now in Atlanta. For boaters, looks like this. Seas running right around 2 feet with a light chop. Northeast winds at 10 knots, and the extended forecast is calling for high temperatures in the mid-70s on Tuesday, and then warming up by Thursday. Well, much more coming up right after this.
Is your mop a dirty, disgusting mess? You need the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System, the only mop and bucket that spins the dirt away. A system that cleans practically anything and everything with super absorbent microfiber. Dip it in the washer side and the mess releases into the bucket. Then place it in the dryer side and push on a pedal. You get a clean mop pad that's practically dry and ready for more. And your hands will never again touch a dirty, disgusting mop. The heads are washable and reusable. Get the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System for just 2 payments of $19.99. You'll also get a Sticky Buddy, the reusable sticky roller that picks up pet hair and lint and washes clean in seconds. You can take advantage of our 2-for-1 Pick It Up special and get a second spin mop set. Just pay additional shipping and fee. And we'll upgrade you to free priority handling. So don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-394-1524 to get your Hurricane Spin Mop double offer. So hurry and call 1-800-394-1524. Call now.
Selling your home? Insist on a 3D showcase tour from Gulf Shores Realty. Virtual tours are flat and boring and look more like a slideshow than a tour. A 3D tour from Gulf Shores Realty is like actually walking through the home without the drive. Get instant access to your next home from any device. Multiple views give homebuyers a perspective like no other. For a limited time, mention ABC7 and Gulf Shores Realty will provide a complimentary 3D tour with your new listing.
Hi, I'm Joan London, and if you're worried about your parent or a loved one living alone like I was, and you want reliable senior care information, then call A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. You'll get free information on assisted living, Alzheimer's care, nursing homes, even important financial information.
They had obviously researched every place, not just given me names. They found me a place for what she could afford, and it was magnificent.
We're now very confident that she's safe, and they just helped every step of the way, and I can't thank them enough.
So if you're struggling to find reliable senior living information, call a place for mom. This is a free service, and you can trust them to help you.
Call right now to get your free Senior Care Compass ebook. Find out about the 5 best-kept secrets on financing senior care and assisted living.
Call now, 800-290-0352. 800-290-0352.
The president-elect is off to a busy start this week after a jam-packed weekend of meetings and angry tweets about Saturday Night Live and the Broadway show Hamilton. Donald Trump and his transition team are now interviewing more cabinet contenders, but there are growing concerns about Trump's businesses and conflicts of interest with his new job. ABC's Lana Zach is in Washington with more.
One by one, they came to Trump Tower to meet with the president-elect and his transition team, some potentially being considered for cabinet positions, others consulting as the administration starts to take shape. And some of the meetings were with former critics of Mr. Trump.
It's included a lot of his former presidential rivals, some of the so-called never-Trumpers, but I think they all love America, and they're all looking forward to having a say in what happens next.
Among the visitors, former Massachusetts Senator Scott Brown.
We obviously spoke about my passion and his passion, which are veterans and veterans issues.
He said he expects to hear if he's offered a cabinet position after Thanksgiving. The governor of Oklahoma, Mary Fallin, said no job offer was made to her.
Initial meeting to discuss a wide range of topics.
And a Democratic Congresswoman, Tulsi Gabbard of Hawaii. She shied away from the press, but released a statement after her meeting saying, quote, "I believe we can disagree even strongly, but still come together on issues that matter to the American people." And today, his senior advisor defended one of those meetings that Mr. Trump took in the days following the election with business partners from India.
I'm very confident he's not breaking any laws. He has many lawyers, accountants, and advisors who tell him what he must do.
The president-elect will also need to determine how to disentangle his business interests from his new role as a public servant. Mr. Trump has more than 100 Trump companies in 18 different countries. Lana Zach, ABC News, Washington.
Donald Trump has yet to release his tax return, saying he is under audit. Now the National Security Agency is getting its own audit. The Office of Inspector General says it is taking a closer look at the effectiveness of the agency following recent security breaches. It comes as the Secretary of Defense and the Director of National Intelligence asked President Obama to terminate Admiral Michael Rogers from his position as Director of NSA. President Obama has not publicly commented on the request. Here in Florida, term limits are causing a big turnover in the state legislature. There's also a shift in the next year in terms of the net worth of state leaders. According to the Division of Elections, the average net worth of both senators and House members is dropping by more than 5%, but don't feel bad for them just yet. Your typical representative is still worth nearly $1.5 million, and your average senator is worth $3.5 million. And that's all the time we have for this evening. I'm Alan Cohn. Thanks for joining us. Have a good night.